It's certainly not a light and fluffy topic, but I want to talk to you about pain today. Pain is inevitable. You are born into this world. You have a nervous system. You have the ability to feel pain physically with your skin, with your body. You have the ability to feel pain emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. It's unavoidable. Every single person, no matter how blessed their life is, no matter how abundant or rich they are, they're going to feel pain. Now, I think it bears speaking to that it all really depends on what we do with it. For instance, yesterday I had a client and it was so fascinating, and the way that this stuff works for me is fascinating. So I sit with this woman and I'm like, you have a holy man with you. Like, he's a holy man. He's a man who's holy. He's showing me back a few generations, what have you. He's a very holy man, very spiritual man in spirit with you. She had a great uncle who was a preacher, and she had never met him, but he was with her because she was part of his family. And he was asking her to apologize to herself for what that man did to her. And why should she apologize for somebody and their behavior? That man was never going to apologize to her. So come to find out, it was her father. She had gotten into a fight with her father. He was in his 80s. They had a big disagreement, blowout. She was hurt. He would never apologize to her for the things he said or the things that he did. And the uncle, the great uncle that was a preacher, was coming through and saying, hey, listen, you need to apologize to you, and that's getting in conversation with herself. Like, hey, I'm sorry for what he did to you. That was unfair. Instead of apologizing to herself, instead of finding a place of peace with it as best as she could, she took up the mantle of that aggression and she continued on with it. It was her fault. She was blaming herself. And I had to give her that perspective that, if that had happened to any other human being, even a best friend or a sister or a daughter, you would not want that person to walk through that circumstance blaming themselves. You'd feel sorry for them, right? And she's like, absolutely. And I said, why is it that you insist on continuing on with that pain instead of giving yourself the guidance, the advice, the love and compassion that you'd give another person? That's the key to holding pain in an appropriate way. Because again, pain is inevitable. You're not going to be able to avoid it, but you shouldn't compound it and you shouldn't continue it. So if you're watching this, I want you to think about the pain that you have been served by somebody that was supposed to care for you. And I want you to think about if you're blaming yourself in a way you'd never want somebody else to, that's never going to work. It absolutely will never work. I think that there is inherent power and peace in controlling the conversation that we have with ourselves. I control the conversation that I have with myself because I want my grandmother in peace, who is in my heart and who is in my mind. My grandmother, I want her to be at peace. Her grandson has to be at peace, which requires me telling myself the right, truthful, and just story to myself. I've had a lot of bad things happen to me. I've had a lot of bad people try to do bad things to me. And I would never pick up where they left off. I would never do that to her grandson. I want you to sit with that today. I want you to think about the things that have happened to you and the things that you blame yourself for and the way you'd never want somebody else to blame themselves for. And I want you to consider how the people who love you in spirit are watching you hold that story and how you are continuing on in that suffering unnecessarily. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope that gives you food for thought. I hope that gives you medicine for your soul to find out more about me, to find my readings and my books, podcast, all that good stuff. Please find me online at joshsimons.com.